He had a rough game defensively.
He tried to be all tried to
No,
be
because
politically correct. He had a rough game defensively.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All my stress. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about Austin Rivers, the new guard we brought in that everybody's loving right now. He's been killing. What's he played? 4 games? 4 out of the 4 or 5.
he's
You have his
played, I
stats up?
believe, four.
4?
Four. I know he's played, yeah, four because he started playing in January. And I mean, so far he's been winning. He played against Indiana, he played against Atlanta, he played against Jazz, and then he also played in this OKC game, um, which he had a rough game defensively.
He tried to be all tried to
No,
be
because
politically correct. He had a rough game defensively.
offensively, he had a decent game. However, he did have the worst plus minus out of any Knick player with a negative 19, meaning when he was on the court, despite his good offense, we weren't defending.
Well, the thing with Austin Rivers, I like Austin Rivers for his offensive impact. You see, when Rivers is on the floor, he adds a dimension to the offense that we don't have from any of our other guards. Maybe a little bit from Quickley, but Austin Rivers is able to beat his defenders and get to the paint almost at will when he needs to. And he's also able to kick it out to the open player, something that we don't see too much from Peyton. Peyton kind of gets into the paint, he lollygags, or he tries to pull it back out, reset, or he goes up with a weak shot. Rivers can both finish at the rim or he can dish it out and get an assist. And we don't have too many one-on-one players that can really break down a defender like that. RJ can break down one-on-one defenders, but he's not going to be doing it, off of the dribble too. Well, he's going to do it off the dribble, but he's going to do it off the dribble in a different way. He's going to try to bull rush you and get the step. Austin Rivers is able to break you down, get you to commit to something, and then he's going to able to counter, get to the basket, and make the right decision. So I like Austin Rivers on the game because he gives that dimension to the team. And I like him paired with IQ, something that you don't see Rivers, I mean, not Rivers, you don't see Thibodeau do. He does it for the most part when they come in at the second unit, but I want to see him do it more so in like longer stretches of the game. Like when he kept them out on the court to close it against who was it, the Hawks? I think he kept them out on the court together against the Hawks to win that game. So I want to see some more of that. You said Quickley, what was it? The game against the Jazz, he only played 4 minutes or 6 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. He only played, yeah, basically 6 minutes against the Jazz.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I'd like to see him play with Rivers more. So to see Tibbs be inconsistent with the minutes IQ is getting, I think, kind of hampers what Rivers can do offensively. Because with IQ on the court, you see a lot of space for Rivers to operate as well. And then you got another shooter on the court for Rivers to pass it to. I think for most of IQ's made 3-point shots, I think they came from Rivers. I know there was the one against the Hawks that he made, and I think there was another one against the Jazz that he made from Rivers as well. So them two on the court, they're a dynamic duo, and I think everybody feeds off of them. But if Tibbs is gonna go with one, he's gonna go with Rivers, who's the more veteran player and who I'm thinking he feels he can trust a little bit more.
I agree. With them two on the floor together, clearly there's a lot more spacing. And unlike Eford Payton, who just has tunnel vision for Julius Randle, these two they will pass the ball to anyone who's open. They'll the offense flows a lot more when they're there. However, pairing them together does pose some issues defensively, especially because both of these players are offensive players. So I guess that's probably why he staggers it. Because Eford Payton, for all the terribleness he is, despite his high averaging points, he's a decent defender. He knows how to stay on his man, and so I guess that's probably why he doesn't want to play Austin and Emmanuel together. But no, Austin Rivers, he's been doing his thing. He had that incredible clutch game against the Jazz. So I'm sure that Thibodeau already has his trust when it comes to Austin. And then with our game against OKC, with the minutes that Immanuel Quickley did get,
Didn't really do
he did
much.
not do good. I mean, he shot 1 for 9.
Yeah.
He was
I
11%.
didn't know he was
field.
chucking that much until after I looked. I was like, ooh.
He was doing bad.
Yeah. Well, you expect that from a rookie. There's gonna be peaks and troughs. There's gonna be highs and lows, but I still think for the most part the team is more potent offensively when you have IQ and Rivers on the team, and if you can put RJ at the 3 and whatever assortment you want at the 4 and 5, I think that is our most high power offensive lineup. Now, if you want to say you just want to use that strictly at the second unit or a team or a lineup that's going to be used to close the game, then yeah, I would understand. But I don't think IQ's as bad as you might say he is defensively. I think he's pretty decent on defense. He's not a liability. I wouldn't call him a liability. Remember, he picked Trae Young's pockets.
True.
Let's not forget about that.
No, I didn't say he's a liability. I'm just saying he's not like having them two on the floor who are known for just offense. Like these aren't players that I mean, I wouldn't initially trust Quickly as a defender. Like I don't trust him to guard these
Especially as a
big
rookie.
guards.
Yeah.
And remember, if Tom Thibodeau knows anything, he knows defense. He's a defensive-minded coach. So he's always going to have a guard out there who can play defense. So that's just why I don't feel he'll play them two together.
Uh-huh.